Tuesday morning, I was taken out of gym class to sit down with two adults for what turned out to be a very uncomfortable talk. I was told that people were complaining about the words on my shirt, that my shirt was making some students feel unsafe. Yes, words on a shirt made people feel unsafe. They told me that I wasn't in trouble, but it sure felt like I was. I was told that I would need to remove my shirt before I could return to class. When I nicely told them that I didn't want to do that, they called my father. Thankfully, my dad supported my decisions and came to pick me up. What did my shirt say? 5 simple words. There are only 2 genders. Nothing harmful, nothing threatening, just a statement I believe to be a fact. I have been told that my shirt was targeting a protected class. Who is this protected class? Are their feelings more important than my rights? I don't complain when I see pride flags and diversity posters hung throughout the school. Do you know why? Because others have a right to their beliefs just as I do. Not one person, staff, or student told me that they were bothered by what I was wearing. Actually, just the opposite.
Oh, Rosie, I love this boy.
What's going on, everybody? Wired here. I hope you guys are all having a super Saturday. And today I want to do a follow-up on a story I covered a couple weeks ago where a Massachusetts student, a 7th grader, wore a controversial shirt to school that apparently incites violence. The shirt said there are only 2 genders, as you just saw in the original clip. And apparently it was so controversial that this 7th grader got kicked out of school for saying this because apparently there are only 2 genders, basic biological facts. Just stating them or just having them written on your shirt is a cry for violence from the tolerant left. They cannot possibly deal with it. And this really gets into a huge debate about our First Amendment rights, about free speech, about free expression, which is protected under the First Amendment of the Constitution, but apparently not in Massachusetts. So I'm going to play a news article for you here real quick. It's going to kind of recap this, and then we're going to get into this and exactly what this means for all of our freedoms. Because this is absolutely appalling. The fact that you can't even express your opinion anymore because an opinion, a biological fact, is now violence. Incredible.
In Middleborough tonight over a t-shirt. A 7th grader is fighting to wear this shirt in school. Now a lawsuit has been filed against the town on behalf of that student. NBC 10's Darren Patella joining us live outside federal court in South Boston with the latest on this case. Darren.
So, Priscilla, the judge said that student cannot wear that controversial shirt while this issue is being decided. Meanwhile, in court this morning, there was a back and forth of whether or not that student's First Amendment rights were being violated. This is the shirt causing so much controversy in Middleborough that reads, "There are only 2 genders." 12-year-old Liam Morrison, a 7th grader at Nichols Middle School, wore it to school and was told to change because he was violating the dress code. The school's principal allegedly told Morrison other students complained about the shirt. Morrison, who refused to change his shirt, ended up going home that day this past March. Then earlier this month, he was forced to remove the shirt at school again, but this time Morrison covered the words "only 2" with the word censored. Attorneys for Morrison appeared in federal court on Wednesday morning after filing a suit against the town of Middleborough so Morrison could wear his shirt in school, claiming his First Amendment rights were being violated.
In a school like Liam's, the opposite view about sex and gender and the way that relates to human identity is expressed all of the time, whether it's through the flags in the hallways or posters or pride events. The school is permeated with one particular viewpoint on this subject, and Liam and perceives that there's pressure not to be able to express a different view.
The local trans rights activist Mason Dunn says you can't compare a pride flag with a shirt denying gender identity that he says could incite violence.
Messages of pride are messages of support, messages of affirmation, not messages of hate or bias.
Neither the school district nor the attorney representing the town in this case wanted to comment. Everyone we spoke with who had family at this school supported Morrison. Do you think he should be able to wear it in school?
Yes. They wear so many other crazy t-shirts. You know, you see the Rolling Stones with the tongues and all these other crazy shirts they wear. I don't know why they singled him out.
So those attorneys for Morrison will be back in court for a hearing on June 13th. They're hoping at that point they'll get the green light from the judge for Morrison to wear that t-shirt before the end of the school year on June 26th.
Honestly, at this point, I don't even really know how to approach this or what to say. This young man, Liam Morrison, his constitutional rights are not upheld because there's some woke judge in Massachusetts, which should be no surprise. Massachusetts is a very woke state. But what's interesting is how far can this really go? I actually can't see it right now. I don't have a webcam. I'm wearing my favorite shirt right now. And it's a picture of Omar Little from The Wire, and it says Omar coming. Now, if anyone's familiar with The Wire, you would know that Omar Little is the Robin Hood of the hood, goes around robbing the Stanfields, the Barksdale, stuff like that. Could that possibly be taken as a threat? Is that possibly taken as violence? Because I don't know. I'm really wondering how far this whole situation can go, because if words, there are only two genders, can be misconstrued as violence. Clearly, if I wear a shirt with Omar on it and it says Omar coming, which is, a terminology in the show to say he's going to go rob people, is that not also violence? Can I not walk into a restaurant with it, a school? Is that wrong? I'm not sure. The First Amendment is supposed to be very clear, but we've become so woke in 2023 that it's not. And we become so offended by everything that even basic biological facts that we've known throughout the history of human civilization are now completely misconstrued. Well, let's get into the article a little bit here. Court denies Massachusetts 7th grader free speech request following legal battle over two-gender shirt. I mean, that's the most controversial thing I've ever heard. Jeez. How dare you? Greta Thunberg voice. One 12-year-old's lawsuit against his school for allegedly violating his First Amendment rights after he was prohibited from wearing a shirt saying there are only two genders hits a speed bump after a district court hearing. We were asking for an immediate order so that he could express himself for the rest of the school year. Alliance Defending Freedom legal counsel Logan Spina told Fox News Digital, Liam's suing for the right to do what every other student in his school currently has the right to do, which is respectfully express their own view on a matter of enormous public concern. What is the relationship between sex and gender? And 100%, this young man's rights should be protected under free speech. There's nothing egregious in this statement. There's nothing. I don't even understand the controversy here. But apparently, Massachusetts is just too woke of a place, and no cap on them because I'm from Pennsylvania. We somehow we elected John Fetterman. So don't look at us for the answers. I know they're not here. I'm just saying, I think everything's just gone absolutely insane. Attorneys with Alliance Defending Freedom and Massachusetts Family Institute filed a federal lawsuit last month against Nicholas Middle School. Officials in the town of Middleborough, Massachusetts, on behalf of Liam Morrison, a 7th grader, who was forbidden to wear a t-shirt to school that reads, there are only two genders. In a Wednesday hearing, the U.S. Court for the District of Massachusetts in Boston denied Morrison's attorney's request for a temporary injunction or restraining order, which would have suspended the school's ability to prohibit Morrison from expressing his views about gender before the court issued its final decision. And again, I just want to, I don't know the law that well. I'm not a lawyer. I only watch a little bit of law too, but how? How could this possibly be misconstrued? Yes, could this offend somebody? I could wear a shirt of a cat. And it was gonna, maybe somebody really maybe somebody hates cats and maybe that offends them. Am I not allowed to wear it? I mean, this gets into insanity territory here that you can wear a shirt. You have to walk around worrying about what everyone else is going to think about it. I'm sure some people are offended by some of the stuff I wear. And they can just deal with it. Just like if I was that, much of a snowflake and I was offended by something that someone else is wearing, I would just deal with it. Or not associate with them. Or just walk into another room. Or just don't have a conversation with them if I'm that triggered by it. But apparently this young man, his freedom of speech doesn't matter because 2023. In March, shortly after arriving at school wearing the "there are only two genders" shirt, Morrison was pulled out of class by the school's principal and a counselor and told that he must remove the shirt in order to be able to return to class. Morrison declined and was picked up by his father shortly afterward. After NMS told Morrison's family and legal counsel that it would continue to prohibit Morrison from wearing the shirt, the 7th grader wore "There are censored genders" t-shirt to school in response, but was told to take it off almost immediately. Oh, well now he can't even do that. I mean, I get what he's doing here. He's escalating the situation through a fair bit of trolling, which is totally fine. Always need levity in some situations like this. I think that's actually, kind of clever, maybe a bit provocative, but whatever. Why does he not have the right to say there are only two genders? He's in middle school. Maybe they don't start teaching biology till high school. I think I started learning biology 9th, 10th grade. Pretty sure in our textbooks, I mean, this was a while ago, that they would state there's only two genders. But, hey, what do I know? Now we're going to go against the curriculum. We're going to confuse kids even further. We're going to put more light on the public school system, which I already don't like because I don't think they teach kids the proper things. I think they teach them trigonometry or instead of that, you know, or why not teach them how to balance a checkbook or about filing taxes? But I don't want to get into that whole rant. Anyway, that's all I got for this video. Leave a like on it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Helps out the algorithm. I will catch you on the next one, and I can't even believe this is happening. This is an attack on First Amendment rights. And it's okay, you know, as long as you can say whatever you want in this country. As long as you agree with the ideology of the left. That's the truth of the matter. And it's disgusting. It's sickening. And I hope this judge gets fired. And I hope this boy's allowed to wear whatever kind of clothes he wants to school. You know, as long as it's not outwardly, you know, expressing, you know, undue harm unto people. Anyway, that's all I got. Talk to you all on the next one. Later.